Good morning, friends. Welcome to this first episode of Converse with Deepak Sharma. And today we have none other than Jennifer Ghosh, medley distinguished director of District 41, all the way from India. And I'm so excited to have Jennifer on this show. There's a reason behind why I got Jennifer on this show. I've been traveling to many places. I'm now part of Katie Toastmasters Club in US, and I meet so many members. And every time they ask me, "What do you do in District 41 that your people are so crazy?" I told them that we always select crazy district directors. And that is why people are so crazy about achieving their goals to make district shine in all kinds of circumstances. Before I invite Jennifer to share her wisdom with us, I think it's very important for us to go through her introduction because if you don't know what she is, you will not enjoy listening to her. I think Jennifer is a fun loving person. I have worked with her for many years. She is born in Calcutta in an Anglo Indian family, coupled with a marriage into Bengali family. And then she's a loving mother. And most important is she is a servant leader. Now, I have seen her serving selflessly always. Education wise, she is an MBA in human resources and she has retired recently from Tata Consultancy Service. And then she went on to Bangalore to work with a startup firm as their head HR. Now, she spent 13 years, it's not a joke, 13 years continuously in Toastmasters. She has been a member, she has gone into all the roles. I worked with her when she was division director in 2016 and 17, and she was instrumental in making our district number one in that year. After that, she did an excellent job as club growth director, and this year she made District 41 Smedley Distinguished District. But she has one thing which every time I hear from all the Toastmasters. Who is Jennifer Ghosh? They said, we know Jennifer Ghosh only by one thing. Once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster. And this is her spirit. I welcome Jennifer you on this show called Converse. And we are going to have a lot of chit chat. Are you ready for it?
I'm absolutely ready for it, Deepak. I'm absolutely looking forward to whatever questions you have for me. Let's take it on.
So, Jennifer, people in the world would like to know a little bit about your life.
All right. So, for people who don't know me very well, and even for Toastmasters who know me very well, this is going to be a bit surprising for them. So, I was brought up in an Anglo Indian family. I started working at the age of 16 when all other youngsters, teenagers were enjoying their lives. I started working at that point in time because it was required for me to support my parents and siblings and everybody. So we all together put our family before anything else, even to the extent of not going to college at that point in time. So I was truly blessed because I felt that having this Anglo-Indian background was a winner for me. My mother tongue was English. And at that point of time in India, in the late 50s, the English language was something which every organization was looking out for.
Absolutely.
And because I had the skill and the communication, the command over the language, I was lucky to have got into many multinational organizations. I was from a convent educated background, and Irish nuns taught me, and whatever I am today, it's all because of them. And I think that is the reason why I never ever had any problem in getting a good job. My life truly changed when I got married to a Bengali in Calcutta. And it was then that I realized that my entire family my husband's family, which was my family also, were all very, very highly educated. They were all either engineers or doctors, or they were absolutely postgraduates. My all five sister-in-laws are postgraduates. I think that was what triggered in me that spark to do something for myself and not just sit down and accept my faith as it was. I
Super.
think that was the time when I was working in TCS. I had the means, the money to educate myself further. And so I grabbed onto this opportunity. And I did complete my diploma and thereafter went on to complete my master's in HR. And let me tell you that this organization, TCS, has been very lucky for me. It has opened windows and doors for me to progress and make myself enriched with the journey in TCS. So there was no moment that I stopped after that. I kept on exploring and made myself what I am today. So thank you, TCS. Thank you to my beautiful parents who gave me that convent education. And thank you for Toastmasters, because it was in TCS in
Yes.
2007 that I joined Toastmaster and went on from there to become what I am in Toastmasters today.
Wow. Wow. I also joined Toastmasters in 2007. Yes, right. And I also completed 13 years. The only difference was I had no clue in my life what is English. And you were all with English. Great. Jennifer, after joining Toastmasters in 2007, has it impacted your life? Or if it has impacted your life, in what way?
Oh, yes. Toastmasters, when I was invited to go for a Toastmasters meeting, a very young girl, you may know her also, Anvesha Deb, she came up to me one day in office and she says, would you like to join Toastmasters? And I said, okay, what is Toastmasters? Do you do some toasting there or roasting there? And she got so angry with me and she says, no, we don't do such things. You please come to Toastmasters session and see for yourself, and then you can take a decision to join or not. And I think that was the aha moment for me when I went to a meeting at TCS, and I found out that even though I'm a very strong communicator in English, there is so much to learn in Toastmasters in terms of structure, in terms of fillers, in terms of being able to speak impromptu and speak with sense. And there was a whole heap of other value added things in Toastmasters that attracted me to the program. And I immediately signed up for it and have never regretted a moment since then.
I think all the young audience who are watching this interview should understand this one last sentence, that I have never regret a moment of it. Because I can vouch it and Jennifer can also vouch it. Both of us has never gone out of Toastmasters, because one Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster. Am I right, Jennifer?
Absolutely. I believe Helen Blanchard had once said that if you get out of Toastmasters, what you get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters.
Absolutely beautifully said. And I think I have also heard this statement from one of the leaders of Toastmasters. And if you don't know about Toastmasters, Toastmasters is an international organization that works all across the world in form of clubs and help people like you and me in building our communication and leadership skills. You can check toastmasters.org and know more about Toastmasters, or anytime write to me or Jennifer about what do you know, what do you want to know about Toastmasters. We would love to share with you. Jennifer, I know that you have spent 13 years with Toastmasters International as part of District 41. Am I right? Were you part of any other district?
I was, yes, part of District 89. I think that time we were together. We
Okay.
split out of 89, right?
82.
Sorry,
82.
98. 98.
Yeah, and after first 82, then
It was first 82, then 98.
yeah,
So yes, I was a part of
yeah.
even before that. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I also started when it was Stick 82. Till today, in all these amazing years in Toastmasters, what is your biggest achievement?
I have started just like any other member. I took a membership and I came with the intent or the purpose to build on the skills that I already had
Mhm.
and become even better. So, like we keep on saying, Toastmasters is such a platform. I think I've learned this from you that you come in and you make mistakes, you mess up, till eventually you reach that age of mess and age, which becomes a message. So
Absolutely.
I wanted that. I wanted to be able to inspire people, motivate people, because I always had this nurturing nature in me, and people always used to sort of love me for the my behavior and because of my loving nature with them. So I wanted to be able to inspire people and get them to become the best version of themselves. So when I joined Toastmasters, it was the with a purpose of improving myself
Mhm.
as well as being able to help others improve. So I joined Toastmasters when I was in my 40s. And I don't think that is, a very young age to have joined Toastmasters. But then, as they say, age is only a number. And I truly believe that age is only a number. And there is no age to learning. You can keep on learning at any point in time. I believe I can learn from a child. I believe I can learn from an adult. I believe I can learn from even my maid. It really doesn't matter. Everybody comes and can help you to learn something in life, but you need to keep that open mind. And so I went on this journey, which I felt at that point in time was the purpose of making myself a better version of what I was, and also trying to help the youngsters in TCS become a better version of themselves. So it was a very win-win situation for me. I was really looking forward to it. But then after 13 years, as you carry on your journey, your purpose keeps on changing. Then you want to challenge yourself even further. You want to take it a notch up all the time. And that is what is excellence, I believe, because every time we need to look back and say, all right, that's where I was, and now I am here. So how can I go even, one notch up? So with that purpose, I came into leadership. And when I came into leadership, I felt it really, really taught me great lessons. It may not have been immediately, but it was later when you're analyzing your role, analyzing what you did and how you performed. And then you keep saying to yourself, oh, at
Wow.
that situation, I could have done this better. And I think that is the moment where we learn. And there have been times when I have jokingly told even the CEO of Toastmasters International that every leadership role should be more than 1 year. It should never be only for a year, because by the time we learn into the role for 6 months, then we start performing for the next 6 months. It's time to close our office. So it really needs a little bit more time to be able to implement more after the learning has become more enriched. But whatever learning I took away from each and every role that I played was because I just did not let it be like a closed book. It was to me like an open book. I kept on reading and analyzing the pages, not shutting them down. And that is where you learn. You only learn if you're able to analyze where you were and where you are today, what you did and what you could have done better at that point in time. So that is where I think the purpose keeps on changing from a speaker to a leader. That's where Toastmaster has taken me in all these years.
And I think Dan Ratz would 100% agree because he has been into that role for many years. And he will keep on applying whatever learning he has learned in the past many years. And I've seen every time Dan Rex comes on the stage with some more creativity, with some more
Creativity, yeah.
excitement, with some more new things. And I think this is a very important thing. But again, the beautiful part of Toastmasters journey is that we can always we can always use this particular learning into our life in any role that we are playing.
In any role, yes, absolutely.
Even if you're managing your family, if you're managing your kids, if you're managing your colleagues, if you're managing your team, you can apply these learnings everywhere.
Anywhere, yes.
I think
In
all
fact, I think it's also vice versa, if you
absolutely.
ask me, because whatever you have learned as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter-in-law, as a daughter, all those learnings I have brought on the table with me. And I think that has really helped me to be more, understanding, empathetic, and being able to understand the leaders better.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing with us this beautiful nuggets of wisdom. And I think millennials, especially, they will understand the power of Toastmasters after listening to you. You must have seen a lot of millennials lack awareness about this organization. They think that this is
True,
a
true.
public speaking platform. And in Toastmasters manuals or in Toastmasters website, nowhere is written that it's a public speaking platform. They say it is a
Where
platform
leaders
that
are
is
made.
absolutely. And public speaking is one of the small ingredient of that journey of leadership. I think
True. I agree with you.
whether it's
I agree.
communication, whether it's public speaking, I think we all have gone through this, and people need to understand that this is not a public speaking school. This is a
It's
organization
beyond that.
that is
Yes.
much beyond that. Great. Thank you so much.
And I think until and unless people don't come and experience the whole journey for themselves, it'll be very hard for them to understand from standing outside the square. I think if they are inside the square, then only they will be able to understand more about the enriching journey that Toastmasters is.
Yeah, unless they are into the water, they will not feel the warmth of the water.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have seen you, and from the day one, I met you first time in Goa. I think that was our first
Yeah.
meeting when you were contesting for division director. And from that day till today, whenever you have come on stage, I saw your calm and composed way of talking to people. I know you are very excited, you are very animated, you are laughing all the time. But whenever you are talking to people, you have a very a style. I would say a style where you are very calm, you're very composed. Your words are coming out of your mouth very nicely. It's as if it's not coming out of your mouth; it's coming from your heart. I want my audience to know what is the secret of being calm and composed on the stage.
Firstly, I would say that it is very important to be knowledgeable about the subject you're talking. So,
Okay.
when you have that subject matter expert, I would say that expertise, then you feel that calmness, that confidence, and you're able to talk more. For me, I am no subject matter expert in anything. I just believe that I keep on absorbing and I'm like a sponge. From one of your trainings only, I've learned this, that I'm a sponge and I keep on observing and observing. And I feel that that is what helps me to build my speaking skills even more. Toastmasters is such a platform that it gives you so much of listening opportunities.
Absolutely.
And these listening opportunities are what helps you to speak better, to understand, and to deliver in the best of ways. For me, it is always speaking from the heart, as you have said. I have never ever spoken anything unless it comes straight from my heart. I do have my little pointers, I do have my points, but that is only to keep a structure around the whole thing. But if you tell me that, Jenny, you had a speech yesterday, I saw you speaking on that topic, can you again deliver that speech? You'll never get the same
Absolutely.
speech. You'll get the same essence, but
Sense.
you'll never get a word by word same speech from me, because my speech will have that essence, but it would have changed because I'm giving it again in a new way, in a new form. So for me, it is very important to know my audience, to understand who they are, then decide what I'm going to speak to them. And when I've decided what I'm going to speak to them, then I will put it with all my passion, all my energy, and totally straight from my heart.
This is amazing, and I think it's very important. I can, or rather, say that one has to have some knowledge about the subject, and knowledge comes from your experience. And then what Jenny said is, she was talking about passion. When you are passionate about something, then you speak from your heart, and when you speak from your heart, you don't speak from your heart to ears. You speak from heart to heart. So
Heart to heart,
yeah,
absolutely.
so the communication happens from heart to heart. And so this is the secret of speaking, being calm and composed on stage. Am I right, Jenny?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You have to feel when you're talking. It's so important for you to want to touch the audience, and
Absolutely.
when you want to touch the audience, your speech can never go wrong.
Absolutely. And I have heard you many times, and every time I can tell you with a lot of conviction that you have been able to touch me. Of course, you have been able to touch a lot of audience in the process, and you have impacted many lives in this journey of so many years. Sometimes we don't even know that whom we are impacting, and
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We don't know. Absolutely.
people will not come and
I
tell
was.
you.
They don't come and tell you. Absolutely. They wouldn't. You wouldn't be there maybe. Right now we are on the virtual platform, but we were not always like this. So
Absolutely.
it was very difficult for us to meet each other or speak to each other as we are doing today. So thank you, COVID-19, for giving us this opportunity, I would say. But let it not last for too long, because I'm dying for that social gatherings and networking and hugging. And, this is what makes the life so much
But what
more
we have learned in the whole
exciting.
process, COVID is going to leave behind a learning that it is not necessary that you have to be physical to meet people. Now we know that the new normal is virtual. So
Virtual.
anytime we want to do something virtual, it is possible. So the
Absolutely.
technology existed earlier also. Only thing was we were comfortable with only one particular way. Now we are going to comfortable
Hmm.
with both ways, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know that I'm fan of stories. When we were together in 2016-17, and me and Mukesh, when we used to discuss and sit and talk about it, and we say, what should we talk in this program? And we always talk about that, okay, we will talk about stories because stories inspires people. Or maybe you want to share with us some crazy story or something very motivational story of your last 1 year's journey that has impacted not only you, but the team as a whole in the District 41.
Well, in that case, the only story I can tell you here is about our chase for Smedley.
Okay.
We managed to reach President's Distinguish. Our dashboard was showing clubs ticked, distinguished clubs ticked, and we just had about 500 payments to chase for Smedley. And that was not a very, very possible feat, because we had just 15 days to achieve it. I just thought that, should I leave it at PD or should I go for Smedley? Because our district has never ever succumbed to, challenges. They've always loved challenges, and I knew the team, I would have their support. One thing is very true, that when you're a leader, it is so important to take everyone together and go forward.
Absolutely.
And that's what I started doing, Deepak. I made a strategy. I decided that every day, every day there is going to be a message to all my leaders, division directors separately, area directors separately, a one-on-one message. It was not only a message, it was a motivational message, and a screenshot of the dashboard. Here we are, this is what we need, and you can do it. And every day the quote would be something different, something more inspiring, motivational. I believe that was the time when I started reaching out to all seniors in District 41, and nobody failed me. They all said that, you carry on, you can do it. There is nothing that you cannot do. We are there behind you. There were some good suggestions of, bringing in awards and recognitions, because that was the only way you can do something for
Absolutely.
members and leaders. So we started off with the
Warriors.
COVID Warriors, which was my brainchild. And I really believe that took us more than halfway across to reach Smedley. Then, just before the last 5 days, we started with the Catalyst Award. And it was every time I would go on Facebook and reach out to all members and ask them, I said, it is not only the leaders that have to work together, it is you, the members, who have to come forward and help, because this is our district. And you are no different. Today, I may be in this position. Tomorrow, you may be in this position.
Absolutely.
Nothing is impossible. And when we are together, let's work together to make it happen. My one mantra all through those 15 days is, let us try and fail, then fail to try.
Absolutely.
Let us try and fail. But if we fail to try, that would be absolutely not the legacies that senior members and district leaders have left in District 41. And I knew that our members, our leaders had the passion to achieve it.
Absolutely.
I got a lot of support. Last moment, there were about 4 clubs opened out, and we were Smedley, but unfortunately, it did not get announced by 30th June, because by then, all our clubs were still with Toastmasters International. But nonetheless, it did come 7 days later. On the 7th of July, we got to know that we have reached.
Wow,
Smedley.
congratulations for that.
So I think that journey and the story that I will always remember to tell, if I get grandchildren, because my sons just don't want to get married right now. So once the grandchildren come in, I will be telling them these stories, because there are so many beautiful stories and live stories which you have experienced, which really, really makes a difference.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And I think that excitement of chasing a goal which seems not achievable to many people, and when a leader starts communicating with the team, and I think my next question is all about communication. When you were talking about this, everything that going on in my mind was communication. You are communicating with people, and somewhere we discount the value of communication. But I see in my journey of Toastmasters and whatever leadership roles I have played, every time communication is one thing that has created ripples, that has created buzz. Do you agree on that?
I absolutely agree on that. Because my communication was not only written. I would just pick up the phone and talk to whoever I felt would be able to help me. Whether it was a leader, whether it was a member, whether it was a senior, I would just pick up the phone and talk to them, because I had the confidence that I can make them understand what is the importance of reaching Smedley. Today, District 41, all members are a proud recipient of this award. And if it was not for all of us together, we couldn't have said that we are a Smedley Distinguished District. So I believe that it is communication. It is not what you say, but how you say it, Deepak, that matters. And I think that has made the difference in my life, in the way I've been able to touch lives with people. I've been able to motivate them, inspire them to do what they felt was impossible. And today, I think they have stretched themselves, and which they really believed was not possible, but they have stretched themselves like a rubber band, and they did not break. So I'm really, really proud of all of them.
In District 41 has been able to build a culture in every single member that yes, everything is achievable. And I also saw a poster on our district Facebook page that we also are number 2 in the club growth.
Club growth, yes, absolutely. We have got the number 2 position, extension in club growth award. So Ranjit has done us really proud. In fact, Ranjit and Suman, who was the division director of Nepal, and they've opened nearly 18 clubs. So it was really, really a fabulous run from Nepal. Bangladesh also has now standing at amongst the divisions. Bangladesh is at number 2. Nepal is at number 1,
Wow.
and Siliguri, Northeast, is at number 3. So we have, these people all stepping up,
All three
and
new areas.
pretty new clubs. Yeah. And all of them stepping up to bring in the numbers for us. So I think it's really hats off to them.
I think I would like to share this one learning, I think, from Jennifer to all the districts across the world from this platform, that it is not that District 41 or districts in Asia can do it. Anybody in the world can do it. There is a power in
Absolutely.
communication, because more you communicate with people, more excitement created. And when the buzz is created, people are ready to do and die, because that is what real leadership is. Because leadership is not about uh, only leading, it is also about communicating the right message. As Jennifer said, it's not what you say, it is how you say, and that inspires people. Thank you, Jennifer, for
In
beautiful.
fact, Deepak, there was one leader in Bangladesh who told me when I reached out to him and I said that I need a club. And he was so good. He opened an advanced club for me with people from all over the world.
Wow.
And it was just 3 days or 4 days before we were closing for the term. He said that we are with you. So, you know, we are with you. Those words are so inspiring and so motivational that every leader wanted it to happen. And that is something.
How does I want to this question is especially for members of Toastmasters, not for leaders. Now, a lot of members, they come to Toastmasters, they always say that we are here for improving our public speaking skills or communication skills. But when we push them or tell them that, okay, take up this leadership role or become a sergeant arm or take up the president's role, they always say, no, no, we are not here to become leaders. We are here to become communicators. Now, what is your one message for all the members in the world who are not stepping up to take up these roles?
I would like to give a story about this. Basically, if you know that in this 2019-20 term, when I was the district director, we had opened a new territory in Northeast, which included Dibrugarh, Tinsukia, and Guwahati, and
Okay.
Shillong, and all these Northeast
Yeah.
states, the 5 sister states they called it,
Yeah.
or the 7 sister states, sorry. Over there, when the elections happened, there was one division director who was elected. But unfortunately, due to severe family engagements, she had to step down soon after. And we had to induct somebody else into the role to take it forward. So it was like not an election, it was a selection process where we inducted a new person to take on that role. Now, many people from those regions reached out to me and said that why somebody from outside, why not somebody from our, state, if anyone could have done it. So I just turned around and said that when leadership opportunities are offered to y'all just stand on the side and don't want to come in. Until and unless you don't get your fingers dirty, you will never know what it is to be a leader. Anyone can stand outside the square and pass comments and say that this is not being done nicely, that is not being done nicely. But I would like you to step in and see for yourself how difficult leadership is.
Absolutely.
And then you will understand the value of leaders. Why not somebody from us? I said, it's because none of you all want to step forward.
Absolutely.
Please come forward and become leaders. I mean, you don't have to do anything. You just have to experience the journey. Here in Toastmasters, coming up in leadership is huge learning.
Absolutely.
I said, please come, get your fingers into it, and then you'll understand. Then you will stop telling me, why not somebody from here? Why not is because you don't step in.
Absolutely. And I think
And this year, we have 2 leaders from that zone.
superb, Jennifer. I think this is a great story. Don't talk from outside the square, come inside the square. Now, this is a beautiful line. I think you will only realize the power of anything, not only leadership, unless you jump into it. Unless you jump into it, you will not realize the power of leadership. So Jennifer, now you have made District 41 number 2 in club growth and made it Medley Distinguished District. So what's your plan? What's we will see next from Jennifer Ghosh in this year?
I did have a conversation with one person who is running as international director,
Okay.
and we had a very lovely heart-to-heart chat in which he told me about his journey as a district director, and how when he was the IPDD, how he felt, and because he had felt a sort of a void after that, he wanted to write down, capture everything and give it to the IPDDs going forward, so that they understand what their roles are, for an IPDD. And it's very true, and I agree that when you become the IPDD, you cannot interfere in the trios or the quartets plans, because they have their own creativity, they have their own vision, they have their own mission, and the IPDD should not step in and go into their line. That would be like interfering on their creativity and not giving them that empowerment. Frankly speaking, my entire term I was very much into empowering, and I would never like to step on anyone's toes. I would love them to learn and grow, make the mistakes, but become a better person as you keep on growing in your journey. The reason now, what I'm planning to do is, I do have my aspirations and goals set for the next leadership role, but I need to prepare now for the next role. So this is the time when I'm actually relaxing. I won't say relaxing, because I've become the vice president education of Kolkata Advanced Toastmasters Club. So since I did not get to do the PQD's role, and I did the vice president education role for a very short stint in Mexico, I thought, why not do it here in Kolkata again.
Now you have talked about that you may not been able to do PQD role. I want you to share with members here that in case for some reason or other you lose an election, how should you react and what should be your thought process in that situation?
See, I wouldn't say that you don't feel disappointed when you lose an election, but it should never get in the way of your journey. That is something which is negative frustration, and we in Toastmasters do not believe in being negative. We rather take that as a lesson and go forward and do it the next time in a better way.
I think very lovely message, Jennifer, and especially for all the members who come for various roles in the clubs at the area level, at the division level. Never get disappointed. Keep continue your journey, because every failure is a learning. So there is either a
Absolutely.
learning or success. I always say there is no failure. So
There is no failure.
every time we learn from this journey of communication and leadership. Now, before we end, and I think we had an excellent conversation with Jennifer on this so-called converse. And Jennifer, I love talking to you. Thank you for sharing your journey with us, your success with us, your failures with us, your quotes with us. It was fantastic. I want to ask
Thank you so much, Deepak.
one thing. If you want to see anybody on this show converse, who would that be?
Well, the only person who comes to mind is my mentor, Oyun Pal, 3 times DTM. I think he would make a very, very good person you could talk to and get a lot of inspiration from. He's like, to me, the walking, talking encyclopedia of Toastmasters, because whenever I don't know anything, I just go to him and he knows it on the tips of his fingers.
Wow.
And if he doesn't know it, he will bring it out for me. And then he tells me also from where to go and search for it. So the learning is like mutual. I ask him, he tells me, then he goes and tells me, go and see it here because that's going to be important for you. So it is a very beautiful relationship. I would love to see him on your show, Deepak. And before we close up, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I think you said I'm your first participant on the show. And I am so thankful to you for giving me this opportunity to be the first person on your Converse show. So thank you very, very much.
So thank you, Jennifer, for coming to our show. We really appreciate your time. And we thank you so much. I'm really excited to have you here. And it was a pleasure talking to you.
It was a pleasure for me to be on your show, Deepak. I cannot tell you how humbled I feel to be here on the same platform with you. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.